Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Zeno here, and I have an update. This is the Pillar of the Cage God, a Earthquake? What the heck is that? This is the Pillar of the Cage God, THICCultist. This is her, the one and only, the crit occultist stacking strength with a staff. I'm nearing on 1100 strength. Not too bad. I'm level 86. I farmed all of my grottos. I put this character on hold until I had this. I officially have a 6-link Pillar of the Cage God, and I'm using additional accuracy as my 6-link paired with increased critical strike chance. I very well may remove this. I may not need it at all. Here's why. I'm running Poacher's Mark. Poacher's Mark does like the opposite of Lycosidae. If you think about Lycosidae, it makes it so your hits can't be evaded, and it's a shield. Can't wear that with a staff. Well, Poacher's Mark here, it's very, let's see where it is. Cursed enemies have 49% less evasion, and with curse effectiveness, I have 1.4 currently. That means, let's see, around 65%-ish less evasion to monsters. So that means monsters can't evade. I mean, they can, it's just not very likely. On top of some accuracy, we should be good to go. So currently my Earthquake is sitting at an 88% chance to hit, and paired with Poachers, I think I'm good to go. I think I'm like home free. I'm currently using Death's Oath and Abyssus. So let's take a look at this Abyssus. So Abyssus means that I take increased physical damage. So if I go in armor build, so currently my armor with Agrumies is 13k. That's okay. It's not amazing. It's 13k as a witch. That's pretty good. But I'm running Enfeeble, which globally reduces... It makes the enemies deal less damage, 30% less. And you multiply that by 1.4, JK, 1.7, because I have the helmet enchant that gives me Enfeeble curse effectiveness. Which means if I multiply this by 1.7, enemies deal 30% less damage. Let's see, 30 times 1.7, assuming there's no curse reduction on the map, when obviously you have to worry about bosses, but still 51% less damage. Enemies deal 51% less damage if they are affected by my Enfeeble. So that is how I deal with Abyssus. I have a decent amount of armor. I run endurance charges, and I have this meaty Enfeeble that just makes monsters deal nothing. At 86, you should be farming like probably like T8s, T9s. So let's do a T9. Waste Pool is a good one. I think people like Waste Pool. Vault. Let's see. Let's do Vault. I'm just gonna run this one blue. Monster Life, no thank you. Totems, never. Come on, give me something not too bad. A little bit of Monster Life, less armor, pass. Boss damage, I don't care about dodge. I'm not a dodge build. Okay. So Abyssus gives me 40 to 60 flat fizz, 25 attributes, and 123 crit multi. When you're going a crit build, it's pretty decent. I'll show you guys my entire attack stats when we are done with this map, or once I'm done with this tutorial at least. So I get power charges because there's an Occultist Ascendancy node called Forbidden Power that no one ever gets, but I do. Because that's the only way I could generate them. Is it reliant? Yeah, surprisingly it is. I have yet to have an experience where I can't keep them up, so I'm pretty happy about that. Is this going to be the fastest clear build you'll see? No. Is it a Pillar of the Cage God Occultist? Absolutely. So that's what this build is. Can it be done? It is. Will it be the fastest build in the world? No. Will you love it? I don't know. That's up to you. That's not my decision. But it is working currently. I'm going to enter red maps on this character. I'm only level 86. I'm going to try and get her... I would say I wanted to see if she can actually do red maps consistently. I don't see why she couldn't, because I have a lot of crit chance and a lot of crit multi, especially with Abyssus, and Abyssus is best in slot anyways. So we're fully utilizing that. And the power charge generation. It's not half bad. This is, you can see me doing Abyss. I have to recolor my Death's Oath in this build, so that's something I have to work towards. I also have to get Rallying Cry slotted in there, because I also, when I crit, I generate endurance charges. But I do need more endurance charge generation. I only have 4 at the moment, and they don't last super long. So I have to be aware of that. I'm going to go unlock this before we continue this Abyss, so I don't forget later on. Okay, where are we going? Down here. I'm pretty happy with this build's damage, honestly. Like, generally speaking, if it's a blue mob or below, it just dies. Rare monsters usually die in one hit. If they're like abyss monsters, I could shred them too. If I crit, they're done. The curses I'm running at the moment are Poachers for accuracy and Frenzy Charge generation, as well as life and mana gained on hit. Flash Charge generation is crucial too with Poachers, so that's amazing. What else am I doing? I'm running Enfeeble, obviously for the negation of Abyssus, and then I'm also running vulnerability on hit on Tomb Fist, which is also yielding me... What is Tomb Fist also yielding me? Intimidate on hit with a Murderous Eye in there. It's only a 1 socket, so but still, vulnerability on hit, Tomb Fist. So those are my 3 curses. My 4th curse would be Despair. I have a lot of extra damage as Chaos. I'm running Death's Oath. It would just make sense. How do I get free Despair? There is the neck, which is really bad for Pillar. I would have to get +1 curse somewhere and figure out how the hell I'm going to get the mana reservation squared out. My mana regen is so insane, and I also have mana gained on hit from Poachers. I could reserve more mana. In fact, I may be even able to squeeze in like Arctic Armor or something. Getting +1 curse on a neck kind of sucks because that means I'm expected to get a necklace with like crit multi, all attribute percent and or strength, you know, flat fizz, life, and somehow, some way manage to get +1 curse on that. So, on whatever planet that is, most likely Standard League, I'll tell you how it goes when that happens. Otherwise, I think it's Cospri's Will, which is probably not good for Abyssus and probably not good for Death's Oath, you know, because you can't wear it anymore. Feels bad. Oh, that hurt. So there's a big slam. I got caught with my pants down. Need to make sure I don't do that. So this is a T9 Vaults. If I actually have my charges up, I do pretty decently. Not terrible. Hope you guys liked this video. At least the mapping of it. Let's go into the math behind this. Let me click all of these real quick. There's a Zana in here. I could do that after the video. Man, something about vaults. I have yet to shape vaults, as you guys can see. But in terms of Atlas, I am sitting 127 out of 157. I'm going for completion, so I want another red mapper. I just died on my Glacier Cascade Pathfinder. Feels bad. So it's either going to be this guy or my Nebulok build. My Nebulok build is pretty much same level. I'm 85 on her, 84, and this character's 86. So we have 2 characters with 6 links that we could just push through content. Let's take a look at this skill tree. So in terms of Ascendancy, I go Void Beacon. Void Beacon is what I got in Merciless. This guy gives me minus chaos resistance and reduces monster life regeneration rate. That's kind of nice, I guess. It's not terrible against some bosses who actually have a decent amount of life regen. I do run in Serious Promise for extra damage as chaos. I have Unholy Might and Jewels, so that's 30%. Here's 20. And I also get, from this node, 12% extra damage as chaos based off of my physicals. So we're sitting at Series is 20, Unholy Might is 30, so 50, 62% extra damage as chaos. And if I get another curse, it's going to be Despair, which will also yield another 4% extra damage as chaos, and it will scale that chaos damage further. Malediction, this is what I pick up in Cruel difficulty. I pick Profane Bloom up immediately. So as soon as you put on Earthquake, you're already blowing up corpses, and you're making them take a 1.1 multiplier to damage, because you're automatically having Blasphemy. And then in Uberlab, I picked up the +1 power charge, and finally went crit. I leveled as Resolute Technique until just now. This is the first level I've gained on this character without Resolute Technique. I just picked up Whirling. I already had Whirling Barrier, so I leveled up with it. It's 12% block. It's pretty strong, especially with Abyssus. I picked up the Crit Chance Crit Multi-Wheel and Endurance Charge on melee crit in case I fluff up Enduring Cry. But this is pretty strong because once I get enough crit chance through Disemboweling, which I'm pathing into now, and Blunt Trauma, Serpent Stance, once I get enough of this crit chance, a Diamond Flask I should be able to keep up both Smashing Strikes and Forbidden Power. This guy will make it so we gain power charges. Power charges will allow us to also keep up our endurance charges, so we actually could go Abyssal Cry, which is another reason why I want Despair. Abyssal Cry paired with Void Beacon Despair. It's going to be pretty insane. I'm going to have Profane Bloom, Abyssal Cry, and Earthquake. I'm going to be able to scale 3 different skills through Chaos and physical variations. The Earthquake is being scaled mostly by vulnerability here, and then the Poachers is allowing it to hit and get frenzy charges. My links are pretty interesting. It's Earthquake, chance to bleed because I'm using Pillar of the Cage God. So the amount of fizz that this gives me is so important. In fact, getting a 21 is really, really good for our damage. Melee physical, just because it's a nice multiplier. Less duration, so that our Earthquake goes off and it's a multiplier. Increased critical strike chance, so that way we can get those big hits. And then lastly is additional accuracy, which I can replace for something else like crit multi or another multiplier. I don't use attack damage on full life because I am wearing Death's Oath. I do have degen. But this guy does give me 50 all attributes, decent life roll, 2400 armor, an aura that does chaos damage over time. So this build will have Profane Bloom paired with Abyssal Cry to detonate corpses and deal chaos damage in an AoE. I will have Death's Oath, a degen that is being scaled by Void Beacon, and eventually when I get it colored up, and Despair if I get 4 curses. And then lastly, our fourth source of damage is our main source of damage is Earthquake. So this build, I know it just seems odd playing an Earthquake pillar build on Occultist, but if you just turn this all to strength, suddenly it works. I mean, it's a little bit odd, but hey, can't hate. So Intimidate, Vulnerability here. We're running Enfeeble and Poachers here. Despair is the last one to go. Despair is pretty overpowered quality too because it gives a bonus increased damage taken from DOT up to 10%, which is great for Death's Oath. And I also run Bleed. If I could throw Poison into the mix, it'd be pretty nuts. This character is... I just need a... I thought about the less duration Earthquake, but I think Enfeeble Curse is just too strong. Anyways, if you have any questions about this build, I'm going to be playing her more on stream throughout the week now that she's got finally a 6 link. Feels amazing, man. Much love and respect. I'm out. Cheers.